much, Rajavilasini, for your contribution. You touched on something that it's like blowing on a boil, and that is supporting one another. I think it's a very big topic because I don't think we have fully understood the power in that. So there's a lot of self-sabotage going on. And yeah, I think that maybe we just need to be honest with ourselves when we're practicing when a devotee who maybe falters, and we're very quick to say, oh, but you know, she deserved it or whatever. And like, what are the practical things that we can, Ananga Manjari Prabhu, I ask you, what can we do to stop being like that, really? I mean, apart from just stop being like that, how do we check ourselves?
Could you just repeat, check ourselves from, so that I can be exact?
Sure. So Rajavilasini had brought up that we tend to not be kind towards each other, tend to be very judgmental, and women tend to bring down other women very easily. And apart from just stop being like that, how can we, or how do we address this? How can we create a culture where we can be more loving and supportive, and when somebody falls, pick them up, basically?
Thank you. Well, culture is developed from knowledge, from hearing, from understanding. As Vrinda was saying, people have different concepts of, you know, how things should be, and we develop paradigms from that. And we've unfortunately, the ISKCON movement has developed this unhealthy paradigm, and so you know, it's kind of like, just because something has been told over and over again for 50 years or so, you know, women are less intelligent, you should only do this, you can't do that, then it's, you know, we imbibe that, and it becomes a belief. It becomes part of our philosophy, which was not supposed to be what Prabhupada gave. So knowledge is going to help change that culture again. And having these forums of expressing what Prabhupada wanted originally for his movement will help women start realizing, not just women, but everyone is supposed to support each other. Everyone is supposed to encourage. Bhakti yoga is no one can have a monopoly on bhakti yoga. No one can have a monopoly on love of God, divine love of God. No one can have a monopoly on it. It's very individualistic, as Rajavilasini was saying. You know, we have to play on our strengths, individual strengths. And those are gifts from God. The individual strength is our gift from God. So if we all, and Prabhupada, that's all he did. He was an expert manager, because he encouraged each individual person according to their propensities. Jamuna, lead the kirtan, give class in front of thousands of people, you know, and manage the Vrindavan temple. And he offered these opportunities for everyone. And it wasn't just for one woman, Jamuna, he did that for many of us. You know, I have a letter from Prabhupada that he asked me to be an example of a preacher in this ISKCON, in his movement. And he said, you be a great preacher, you will do this, you can do this. And not that I did it, and not that I'm great, but he offered that a young girl can do this in this movement. The letter is so old. So he offered these opportunities. When women are envious of each other, it's only because we've created a culture of you can't do this, you should do this, you're supposed to fit here, and if you don't, then you're wrong, because it's fear driven. We've developed a fear driven concept on this particular subject. I don't want to say everything, because obviously there are so many wonderful things that ISKCON has carried on and developed for Prabhupada's mission. But in this particular subject of woman, you know, so we all become a part of that. And so we become fearful and we become envious of each other. And knowledge will break that fear. As Vrinda said, Krishna consciousness belongs to everyone. And so also Vrajalila mentioned that no one can stop, you know, transcendental devotional service, someone's individual transcendental devotional service to the Lord, because Prabhupada didn't give an ordinary culture of the world, as she mentioned, Vrajalila mentioned. No one can, you know, he didn't give an ordinary culture of the world. He gave transcendence. He gave a transcendental divine, you know, way to love God. And that is up to each individual. I have a quick little story, just that Radha mentioned how we can't make people Krishna conscious. We can't make our children Krishna conscious. We can't make someone, we can't, in the name of protection, we can't control someone to do what we want them to do. And one devotee was we were in Prabhupada's room here in Gainesville, 1971. And one devotee was very eager and he said, Prabhupada, how can we make these students Krishna conscious? Prabhupada said, you cannot make them. He said, that is between them and Krishna, but it is between you and Krishna how you present it. So how we treat each other as Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas, how we treat each other, how we encourage each other, how we fan the little spark of devotion that someone may have to increase that. Prabhupada was never suppressing devotional service. He never suppressed it. His MO, his method of operation was to always increase it for everyone. So we must play our strengths, because that was Prabhupada's, he set that precedence for management to be all you can be for pushing on the movement. And obviously, as you all mentioned, you all touched upon, that it's all about helping each other, helping others. So by knowledge, when the more women and devotees hear this, that it's all inclusive, there's no restrictions for divine love of God, for devotional service, opportunity should be given for every man, woman, child, and every living entity to engage in devotional service. That is the movement I joined. That is the ecstatic movement that I joined. And as Vrinda was saying, there may be different ideas from other people, but that should not bully us into a misconception, a mistaken paradigm. We need to change our perspective, and that will help other ladies to start supporting each other. Is that okay? I hope.